flying over North Vietnam in an A-4 Skyhawk aircraft car have just been shot down and ejected from the plane, breaking your back and dislocating your knee. And that's not even the worst of your problems. When you hit the ground, you'll immediately be captured and taken to a Vietnamese prison. If you were in this situation, you'd probably be thinking about what awaits you on the other side. Surely torture, imprisonment, or death. It sounds pretty terrifying, right? Well, this is exactly what happened to senior naval officer James Stockdale during the Vietnam War, and he was thinking those exact same thoughts. But the minute he touched down in North Vietnam, he flipped a switch, and his only focus became his men. For most other soldiers in the prisoner of war camps, their sole focus was themselves. Staying alive meant doing whatever it took, sometimes even killing their own men. Stockdale, on the other hand, had a different mindset. Throughout the 7.5 years he spent in imprisonment, 2 of which were spent wearing leg irons in solitary confinement, he led his men in one core principle: unity over self, or US for short. Stockdale did not take this obligation lightly, at one point even attempting suicide, not to end his suffering, but to show the guards that he would not disgrace his fellow soldiers who had sacrificed their lives on the battlefield by allowing himself to be used as a tool for the opposing cause. Despite his strong mindset, Stockdale recognized that he and his soldiers were human and needed a place to process the torture they were going through. Almost immediately upon his arrival, he set up a support network to help soldiers cope with the pressure to give away information to the enemy while being tortured. Among those in his support group included future US Senator John McCain, who was offered by the guards to be released from the camps and return home unharmed. See, McCain's father was an admiral in the army, and the guards wanted to make it look like he was receiving special treatment. McCain, empowered by Stockdale's unity over self message, chose to not abandon his fellow US soldiers and return home. He chose to suffer rather than undermine their cause. Surely Stockdale must have had some secret. How else could he have survived over 7 years of torture in prisoner of war camps? Well, he did have a method, but it's not a secret. It's something you and I and anyone in this world can learn and practice in our everyday lives. It's called Stoicism, the idea that we don't control what happens to us in our lives, but we do control how we respond to it. Stockdale couldn't control the kind of torture he would face, but he could control how he led with wisdom, courage, justice, and discipline, the 4 Stoic virtues he maintained and practiced each day of his life. Our main understanding of Stoicism comes from the Emperor of Rome, Marcus Aurelius, through his book, Meditations. Marcus was faced with great suffering and tested with endless challenges in his life. Through his books, we see his commitment to living out the 4 core Stoic virtues, no matter what else was happening around him. In his most famous piece of advice, he emphasizes that happiness depends on the quality of your thoughts. You control your mind and how you respond to any situation life throws at you. While Marcus fits the persona of a common philosopher, an old guy in a toga from ancient Rome, the beauty of Stoicism is that anyone can do it. Some of the most successful Stoics practice this mindset in our modern world. In fact, many famous basketball players, football stars, and Olympic gold medalists use this mindset to elevate their game and to deal with the mental challenges of being a professional athlete. Kobe Bryant was known for his hard work and dedication to his craft. His so-called Mamba mentality developed him into a true Stoic. He never let something he couldn't control get in the way of what was important. Take the game versus the Hornets on March 31st, 2012. It was Kobe's worst game of his life. He missed his first shot, then his second, third, fourth, and fifth, going on to miss his first 15 shots, setting a personal record for inaccuracy. In the 4th quarter, the game was tightly contested with 56 seconds remaining. Kobe was now 2 for 20 and had missed all 7 of his last 3-point attempts. With the clock winding down, Kobe caught the ball in the wing and rose with full confidence, sinking the game-winning shot. His mind wasn't focused on what had happened in the past. He knew that any energy spent focusing on the shots he'd already missed was energy wasted on what he could control in the present. Despite his awful shooting night, Kobe's confidence didn't waver for a second, and he delivered when it mattered most. That's the mark of a true Stoic. Kobe's success came from his consistency of this Stoic mindset and embodying the 4 virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and discipline. He didn't let setbacks from the past negatively affect his present mindset. But he didn't forget his mistakes either. He studied them and learned from them to become a better athlete than he was the day before. Kobe once said, "Failure does not exist. It is a figment of your imagination. If you fail on Monday, the only way it's a failure on Monday is if you decide not to progress from that. The worst thing you could ever have is to stop and to not learn." So maybe your goal isn't to be the next Kobe Bryant or James Stockdale. Maybe you just want to have a better perspective in your everyday life. That was my goal when I began my journey with Stoicism. It has had a profound effect on my mindset, sports, school, and everyday situations. My favorite Stoic principle is having control over your own mind and centering yourself on what's important in that moment, especially in high-pressure situations. For example, when I was on the line at a track meet or shooting the ball in a basketball game, I used to worry about whether I was going to win the race or if I was going to make the shot. Practicing Stoicism has allowed me to center my mindset on a controllable in that moment, whether it's simply catching the person in front of me or the mechanics of my shot, rather than worrying about the outcome or how others will perceive me. And it's not only helpful in sports. Stoicism can positively affect your personal life as well. For example, if a relative, colleague, or classmate is frustrating you, Stoicism would remind us that in order for it to have a direct impact on you, like ruining your day or distracting you from paying attention in a class, is because you've allowed it to frustrate you. In that situation, you would recognize that you can control how you respond to their negativity and change your mindset to a positive one. After reading more about it, I realized that you don't have to sift through Marcus Aurelius' meditations to become a Stoic. There are actually many modern resources out there to help. Ryan Holiday, a father of two from California turned Stoic, has written dozens of books on Stoicism and how modern-day humans like Stockdale have used it to defy the odds and excel in their craft. He's also written The Daily Stoic, a book that includes a quote a day from a Stoic philosopher, as well as an action or message you can use to become a better Stoic. One of the most important messages in the book is about finding purpose and resilience through actions. When something feels difficult or challenging, don't succumb to feelings of resentment and hopelessness. Do the next needed thing, no matter if it scares you. Resilience doesn't come from waiting for confidence. Kobe didn't wait for confidence when he hit the game winner that night. Stockdale didn't wait for courage when he was faced with 7 years of torture. He just put his mission of unity first, day in and day out. That's how change is created. Change doesn't come from waiting for justice. If you notice an injustice in your life, don't wait for a magical burst of wisdom to give you the answer. Just do the next needed thing, no matter how small your action. These will add up, and as you continue focusing your mindset on what you can control in the present, resilience will come. That's how a true Stoic is born. Thank you.